All right, my friends, welcome back. Kris Crone.
Grant Thompson.
And today we're talking about the disadvantages of YouTube.
Are there any disadvantages to YouTube?
I don't know, but I think we're about to find out.
Let's talk about that. So there are so many good things about the YouTube platform. It's free to set up an account, you can reach an international audience, very little to no overhead costs whatsoever. But in this video, we want to talk about some of the disadvantages of YouTube. What's the purpose of talking about the disadvantages?
I'm not really sure, Grant, but people are asking for it, and I think that it is important for people really to have eyes wide open when going into it, because YouTube is not a 30-day commitment, it's not a 90-day commitment, it's a long-term commitment. And whereas you've been with it, I've been with YouTube now for 4 years, you've been with them for 7 years. I think it's really important to take some time and say, hey, there are some downsides of actually YouTube platform, and you should be aware of them up front, and can you work around them?
Yeah, it's important for you to know kind of what you're getting into. What are the challenges that you're going to face? What are kind of the things working against you? So the purpose of this video is really just to get all that on the table so that you can address those now and just get past them so your YouTube journey will be a lot more successful.
Okay, the first thing we should probably talk about is the mysterious algorithm. And Grant, I know that you've actually even been inside headquarters and have had multiple conversations.
Yeah.
Tell me, first of all, for those that don't know, what is the algorithm and what does it ultimately mean?
Yeah, well, I have sat down with YouTube. I've actually talked to the engineers that work on the algorithm, and they are very elusive as to what they can say. The general answer is nobody really knows, or we can't disclose that, and I think that's fair enough because the algorithm changes all the time as well. So what is an algorithm?
Yeah.
An algorithm is some kind of a formula, a computer code that searches for certain trends or aspects or traits of a video that's desired to be promoted and suggested in different ways. So YouTube has its purposes of what it's trying to accomplish. It's basically written a computer code to analyze videos and trends and how people interact with these videos to get it to the desired purpose. YouTube's purpose is as much watch time as possible, so it looks for the patterns that it thinks are going to keep people on YouTube the longest, watching the most content possible.
And you know what, I just gotta say, with billions of hours being consumed, that's probably, it can't be a perfect algorithm, right? I mean, the reality is that some parts of it are probably working well in its favor, and sometimes it's probably working against itself.
Yeah.
It's just like anything that gets big enough, it gets really, really complicated.
That's right. And there's really no way to perfect the system. You're always going to have things that work well and things that don't work well. And of course, YouTube's trying to keep on that, and they're always tweaking the algorithm, making minor adjustments. And some things have been spawned by an algorithm that they could have never predicted. And now that those are on the radar, they're trying to find ways to suppress that or shift it for the future. So it's very much a living, breathing.
It's like artificial intelligence in the latest sci-fi movie where the algorithm got out of control and it's taking over the planet.
Pretty much, kind of like the tax code. Anyway, so I think the thing to keep in mind is you can't rely on cracking the algorithm, because even if you did crack it, even if you did understand it today,
you can't control it.
Yeah, a week from now, there's a good chance it'll be changed. So your theory is really going to be all over the place. So one of the disadvantages to YouTube is, I guess, trying to work with the algorithm. It's probably not going to favor you or your videos. It's very sporadic. There are ebbs and flows. Times when things work really well, and times when things don't work at all.
For just a second, do you mind just sharing, in your experience, some of the things that have changed with the algorithm over time? Like, oh, YouTube's now favoring this. Oh, just kidding, now they're favoring that. What have been some of the changes?
Yeah, that's a great question. When I first came on YouTube, it seemed like really short, viral type videos were really popular. If you could keep them to about 1 minute to 2 minutes, they were very shareable. They get a lot of views. And at the time, how many views your video got was huge. The more views your video got, it would get up on trending, and it would get a lot of exposure and a lot of suggested. But now, YouTube wants watch time. So the longer your videos are, and the more people spend time watching them, the more your videos get favored. So just to place an example here, if you made a 1-minute video that got 10 million views, or you made a 10-minute video that got 1 million views, which one would be better, the 10 million view video or the 1 million view video? Because in YouTube's terms, if the whole video got watched start to end, both of them have the same amount of watch time. So depending on how the algorithm interprets the value from the video will really make a huge difference in how it gets promoted. The 10-minute video may get suggested more because it's a long video, keeps people on longer, and that's really what they want right now.
When you become a YouTube creator, they create a tool for you called the YouTube Creators app. And when you look at that, you're gonna basically watch your trends, you're gonna watch your spikes, and it seems like so often things are just, you don't really have the ability to predict why things did what they did. You can try to replicate and recreate. And the reality is there's a part of that seems like it's out of your control. However, what is in control is that each video, and the way that my producer with my other channel, Nate, likes to look at these is like each video is like a machine. And it's like that machine is going to work for you. And the more machines you have, then the more gooder things are going to get with time. And so there are some things that you can't count on with the algorithm, but there are some things that you can count on. And from what you've really devised, I think there's 3 things that you, Grant, like to focus on. It's like, well, whether we ever understand the algorithm or not, whether YouTube understands the algorithm or not, there's 3 things that will always help your channel in general, always promote and go to the next level. Do you mind sharing those 3?
I think we have shared those. Those are a topic for a different video, which you can go see.
Okay.
You know, how to build your YouTube
We just increased our watch time. Did you see how we did that right there? Go watch more.
That's right. How to build a YouTube channel successfully. I think we addressed those questions in there. For this video, I just wanted to kind of more poke holes in the system just so you knew what to watch out for. And I think the second disadvantage to being on the YouTube platform is really that the audience is generally more millennial. There's more of an audience that expects to get instant gratification with no commitment and with no sacrifice. So they're looking for free content. You know, they want to digest it very quickly. They want what they want now. And if they don't get it, they want to move on. There's never, like, we live in a society where you really can get almost anything that you want at very little expense. So there's really much take, and very little give. So I think YouTube audiences in general are trained to want things for free. They don't really see the option. They're not in the habit of giving to get. It's just take. So even an advertisement that pops up in a video, they're going to get offended by that because it takes into their time. You know what I'm saying? So an audience that expects things for free, I think an entitlement attitude is something that's prevalent on the YouTube platform as well. YouTube in general, I think, attracts a younger audience overall. You know, it's become a babysitter for a lot of people. I know we obviously use it with our kids. There's channels that we want them to watch that are educational and teach them a lot of great things. But they could spend, you know, kids in general could spend hours sitting down and just watching video after video after video, which has its pros and its cons, because there is a lot of content out there that adults don't want their kids watching.
Right.
You know, you think about an adult, they're at work, you know, they're riding the bus, they're commuting to and from work, so they're not going to have as much opportunity to watch YouTube as a kid who's either, you know, using the device to babysit them or is just catching up on the latest vlog action, what's happening in the world on the internet. So you're going to have a younger audience just by default because of the nature of people having to work for a living versus, you know, the ones who are in school or catching videos on breaks.
If you're ready to start making money on YouTube, click the link in the description below.
Or if you want to watch the rest of this video, click right over here on Chris's face.
Ah!
They're still here.
Okay,
Come on, it's only 2 options.
it's not my face, it's right here.
We got a description or the box right here.